Good afternoon and welcome to the Suspension Press Presents. Right now we're at the third annual Northern Kentucky African American Heritage Festival here at Randolph Park, located off of Greenham Street between 10th and 8th Street in Covington. This park was named after Dr. James Randolph, who served this community until 1976, I believe, or 79. He was a faithful doctor, served people even though they had not the ability to pay. We're here today. It's a very proud moment for us today. Our theme for this year's festival is honoring those who led the way. And of course, I'm Patricia Humphreys Fan, the former publisher of the Suspension Press newspaper that started being published 15 years ago right here in Covington, which is a historical event in itself. And to my right is Karen Foster Bell, who was the editor of the paper. And Karen is from Cincinnati, but she is a Covingtonian transplant. And Karen was with me in 1983 when we first started the Suspension Press Presents. Well, Karen, what do you have to say before we get started?
I just want to say it's just a joy to be here. I just thank God to be alive in today's times. And it's just wonderful at any time to be able to come together and celebrate who you are and to actually even know who you are. And I just want to say hello to everybody, all of my friends and family that live in Covington and watch cable TV, and that I have been blessed to be a part of the 15 years of hard work and labor that have gone into the Suspension Press and all of the other endeavors that Pat Fan hasn't been involved in.
Well, we're going to be talking to the festival's founder in a very few moments, Commissioner Mullins. Commissioner Pamela Mullins, our former school board member, which is our first school board member of the city of Covington. That also is a historical moment, and she is now city commissioner. So we're just waiting for her. In the meantime, in the background, we have all of our teachers we're going to talk to later. But in my hand, I have a historical piece. Commissioner Mullins, could we talk to you for a moment? Well, how are you enjoying your day?
I'm enjoying it exceptionally well. Everything has been exquisite, as you might say. Even though I can't taste it, I can feel it.
Okay. Tell us something about how you got your festival started and what you think about it today versus 3 years ago, and what do you look for in the future for this African American Heritage Festival?
Okay, well, as far as getting it started 3 years ago with an idea of a celebration that was necessary so that the African American community in Covington and in Northern Kentucky in general could celebrate their heritage and their culture, such as others do. That we have like an Italian fest that goes on. I think we have an Appalachian festival. We have the one that comes Oktoberfest. But we don't have an African American Heritage Festival in this area. So today versus 3 years ago, I'm very proud to say that it's grown to this level. Everything here is excellent as far as educational, entertaining, so that you can have that experience of the African American culture. And I'm totally glad that we have other ethnic cultures represented here today enjoying this festival with us.
Why do you think it's important that we have this festival?
Well, it's important because we, first of all, need to have a better understanding of ourselves. Before we can move toward the future, you have to understand what your past is and what baggage you may pack with you that makes you act like you do things like you do, but you've got to understand your history so that you can share that cultural experience with others and that they can have a better understanding of you.
And also today we're honoring the teachers. You want to talk about that a little bit?
Yes, the day with honoring the teachers was excellent. Of course, you and I, we've been hanging in here for the last 3 years with working on this. We bounce our ideas back and forth on each other. And what has come a tradition is to honor our elders. And this year you suggested why not honor the former Lincoln Grant School faculty. Of course, you went to that school. I did not, but I thought that that was an excellent idea and supported it totally. And today we have them here, all looking beautiful, with a lot of support behind us with celebrating this day for them.
Well, you know we didn't have the sponsorship level that we had this year. Do you think that affected us in any way?
No, at first I thought it would have a very negative impact to the point where I was starting to be a little concerned about how things would work out. But as God would have it be, we had a last-minute sponsor came on board, being Toyota, who ended up being our largest sponsor, and this festival was able to go on in spite of any financial hardships that personally I would have had to bear. You know, I was committed to doing this, and if there had to be a cost overrun, then I was ready to handle that. But fortunately, God blessed us, and we were able to get another sponsor coming through.
Do you think that us being African Americans, ancestors of slaves, had anything to do with the fact that we could carry on anyway?
Yes, I think it does because we're used to surviving, we're used to having a hard way to go, and in spite of all obstacles, we seem to always come to the top and be able to accomplish what it is we really go for. And particularly if it's God's will, no man can stop it. And I truly believe in that, and I have faith in that.
And of course, this week, Miss Mullins, you have had such a traumatic experience, and now you're moving on.
Yes, I am. Moving on very happily with a heart that's full of love and, you know, feeling real good about everything. Nothing could put a damper on today for me. I'm thoroughly enjoying myself and having a good time here.
And of course, you're not told them to have your camera around, so this is the first time you've been able to get out and talk.
Yes, it is.
Well, we look forward to the rest of the festival, and we're going to now go to and start interviewing the teachers.
Thank you so much.
Welcome.
Take care.
In my hand, I have a drinking gourd. And as you know, during the escape of the Underground Railroad, they said follow the drinking gourd, which was the Big Dipper in the sky. I personally do the Ghost of Harriet Tubman, and last year I did the Ghost of Harriet Tubman, and this year I'm participating in my own alumni's colors, which is blue and white. Unfortunately, in 1965, when they closed the high school and we had to go to Holmes High, I was a part of that class, so I didn't get to walk down the aisles of Lincoln Grant. But the one thing that I noticed when we first went to Holmes High School, and I was kind of appalled that they had everything out there to offer and we hardly had nothing. Well, I took that negative and turned it into a positive. And I decided not to be angry about the past, but to do something about it because there's nothing that we can do, that everybody has a history. So I want you to join me as I talk to the alumni of the Lincoln Grant School, because some of them are teachers that came back as graduates and some of them just came to teach. And I'm happy to say that you'll be able to see who taught me today. And see, I understand oftentimes in our cultures, different cultures, that we relate better to those who walk like us, talk like us, and look like us. So join us right now as we go in and talk to the former alumni of the Lincoln Grant and William Grant School. Well, hell, the gang's all here. Okay, how many okay, everybody that's a teacher, raise your hand. Yeah, it's very sincere. That's Miss Sloan's husband. Miss Sloan, you gonna give him DT? Okay, now all of the ones that graduated from Lincoln Grant that came back to teach, would you please stand? These are all our teachers, and I'm going to start, I guess, from my right on back to the back and end up with, and this is Mrs. Wright, our home economics teacher, who was my home economics teacher, and she's an alumni. Miss Wright, what year did you graduate from? And give me your maiden name.
I was Sarah Sleet, graduated in 1935.
And how far did you have to travel to Lincoln Grant?
25 miles.
25 miles? Is that to and from or just what?
That's one way.
So what time did you have to get up in the mornings?
I don't remember, but I might have, no doubt, I was raised on a farm, so I might have milked the cow before I got there.
Oh, yeah, what about, did you gather the eggs too?
Oh, yes.
But you didn't have that, you didn't do that by yourself because you have a twin sister.
There were 6 of us, and we all graduated from Lincoln Grant.
And this school was completed in 1932, and I'm happy to say that we have one of the first persons that graduated from Lincoln Grant in 1932. And Ms. Wallace, it's a pleasure having you. Would you like to say something and tell me how you feel about your school?
Well, I felt wonderful about it. I have a lot of memories of the school.
So you all's pictures, we looked at your pictures hanging up there for years and years and years, and ours didn't even get up on the wall because we had to leave.
For heaven's sake.
Okay, and then we have to Mr. Walter Gilliard, who was my gym teacher when I was in the 1st grade. So Mr. Gilliard, what year did you graduate from?
I forgot. 1942, 41.
Now, are you from Covington?
Yes, I was raised here in Covington. I was one of the first students when the new building opened up. Came here in the 1st grade.
Okay.
Down on 7th Street.
How did you feel coming back teaching at the school that you graduated from?
It was really an experience, I tell you. And coming back home, yeah.
You're now teaching where?
I'm at Wilberforce University as Assistant Vice President for Student Affairs.
So you really moved up. So there you did move up, right? So that's just saying that what Covington, Kentucky has turned out is a great thing, correct? Right. Okay. And we have my art teacher. No,
Give me my money back.
no, I couldn't draw, but I still became very creative.
Very creative, right?
Okay, and we have Mr. Charles Houston. And Mr. Houston, what year did you graduate?
I'm a class of 1945, 10 years after the home economics teacher of 1935, and I was also a teacher right around the hall from her.
You were a teacher right around the hall from her. Well, she was on the third floor, you was on the first.
Well, we moved it down to the first floor because I was getting too old to go upstairs.
Well,
Even at that day.
well, if everyone knows that Mr. Houston, along with Mr. William Martin, every year we would have our spring festival. And Mr. Houston would help Mr. Martin, and I guess the other teachers that became, helped to coordinate our spring festival.
Yes, we helped to do that. And since I was one of the first male students in this school to ever learn how to sew, they always capitalized on that sewing possibility, although I was here to teach art. And my students had two possibilities when they were in my class. They could also learn how to sew as well as learn how to draw. But many of them come up to me and say, I can't draw, so I hope they learned how to sew.
Well, Mr. Houston, I remember in the 7th grade we did a program and you did we heard them sing Come to the Mardi Gras. Could you tell me how you came up with that?
Well, I always used a whole new world as my motto, and that's a part of the world. And I always tried to bring all kinds of enrichments to my students so that they, when they were adults, would be able to say, how did you come up with that?
That's pretty good, but what I'd like to ask you is that, do you realize that when you were singing Come to the Mardi Gras, that we didn't even know enough about our African American history?
Well, that's why I was there, to enrich your history.
You know what I'm talking about. But we didn't know enough about our African American history, but thank you for that experience. And I haven't been to the Mardi Gras, but I hope to get there one day. And here we have Miss Sadie Bunyan Dean. And of course, Miss Bunyan, you know, we loved you very much, but the class that you taught, people were very depressed about it. She taught special education. And let's talk about, what year did you graduate from?
I graduated from Lincoln Grant in the year of 1945. A class, one of the larger classes at that time that graduated from this school. Charles Houston and I were classmates. We also wrote the school alma mater. I don't know whether you have a copy of it or not, but we did do that. I have a copy of it somewhere. I will turn it over to you later.
You have a copy, everybody has a copy of the alma mater in their package because we're going to sing the alma mater today as a part of the ceremony.
Not the one that we were talking about.
Well, I didn't know about it, the other one.
This is the one before. I guess this one was written, but we had one too.
Okay.
That we gave dedicated to.
You are still in the special educational field even though you're retired?
Yeah, my major at the time was elementary education. Then I went on to school and got my master's in special education. I became a supervisor in that field in Cincinnati. And I was one of the first blacks asked to integrate the school system over here. But I declined. I went to Cincinnati and taught there that same year. But I'm proud to have been offered that position during that time.
Was it more money in Cincinnati?
Of course there was.
Well, was it more opportunity in
The
Cincinnati?
opportunity was much greater, and I felt that it was. I didn't know for sure, but I knew which way I wanted my life to go. I wanted to be more than just a school classroom teacher, so I did end up being more than a teacher.
And now you're over in Cincinnati doing something with special education teachers.
And now I'm working at Olivet Baptist Church on Saturdays with a privileged group of kids, and we have about 100 children in our class, and we meet every Saturday, my sister and I, Eva Clark, and others there. And we're doing a beautiful job. So come and join us sometime.
I sure will, and I'll make sure that we have other kids coming. So we'd like to call your sister over, Miss Clark. And also, we have, as our guest today, he's not a teacher, but he is Judge Bunyan from Cincinnati. Yes, please. Mr. Bunyan, Judge, Your Honor. Okay, we have Miss Clark, who taught the 3rd grade, and I'm sorry, Miss Clark, I really wanted to come to your class, but I didn't make it there. I went to Miss Hunley's instead. But you graduated what year?
I graduated in 1936 from William Grant High School. But I was born in Augusta, Georgia. My parents moved to Covington, Kentucky, and I was raised in Covington. So therefore, I went to school here in my early years at the Lincoln Grant Elementary School, and I graduated in 37. Went to college and came back and taught 3rd grade in the Lincoln Grant Elementary School.
And you two left in what year?
I left here and left since the Covington in '62. I left Covington in 1962 and moved to Cincinnati.
Miss Clark, you have on what colors is it that you have on today? That you have you are really adorned for the occasion.
I have blue, navy blue, and white on today, but I like it. These are my favorite colors.
Okay, so did you all have blue and white when you all were in school?
Yes, at that time we did have blue and white. It was our school colors.
Okay,
Right about that.
okay, so I'm still right about that. Okay, then we have Judge Bunyan, who went on to Cincinnati to do great things with his sisters and made more money. And Judge Bunyan, it's a pleasure to have you here. And what year did you graduate?
1941. I was in the class of 41, the February class. At those years we had two classes, one finishing in February and one in June. I was in the February class of 1941.
So you were one of the people that used to help, well, you know, we used to have to do Holmes High School's laundry.
Absolutely. Yes.
Did you play ball?
Yes,
you
I played football, yes.
So you wore one of those hand-me-down? Did you wear,
Yes, I did. We knew we had a laundry, and I took the home economics course, so I knew a great deal about the laundry.
So why didn't you choose to be a teacher like your sister?
Well, I always wanted to be a lawyer and a judge.
Okay, was that to affect change or to have control?
Was that what?
Was that to affect change or to have control?
To help make changes occur in the society.
Great, thanks a lot.
Thank you.
Okay, now I'm gonna go back here a little bit and start talking to my 7th grade teacher and the other teachers. All the ones that didn't go to a Lincoln Grant, would you all please stand? Oh, Miss Gamble, I'm sorry. As a matter of fact, I didn't know you were Mr. Conway's daughter. Miss Gamble, if everyone knows that went to Lincoln Grant School, Mr. Conway was her father. And if everybody knew Mr. Conway was the custodian, but Mr. Conway was clean.
So, definitely that.
Okay, so Miss Gamble, what year did you graduate?
In 1942.
Okay, and you came back to teach. Why did you come back to your community to teach?
Well, I moved back after I married. And when I stayed here, and I taught here for 5 years.
Well, you were gone when I came. So what year did you leave?
Oh, well, I suppose we moved to Cincinnati about possibly, maybe 1950, let's say.
I was only 2 years old.
Right.
Yeah. Well, I hope you enjoy the program today.
Okay. Wonderful.
All the teachers that did not graduate from Lincoln Grant, could I have a word with you? We'll start with Jim Brock. Mr. Brock. Mr. Brock was one of the most, you brought Mr. Brock here. Well, Mr. Brock, no offense to y'all, was one of the most popular teachers, because, teachers, which was our physical education teacher, and I guess he was probably our favorite teacher because we didn't have to sit down and buckle down with the other studies. Because we didn't have to buckle down like we did with the other studies. But Mr. Brock, you came when I was in the 2nd grade. And how did you come to, Mr. Houston said he brought you here, is that true?
That is true. Mr. Houston happened to catch me when I was getting mad with General Electric. I couldn't make any progress at General Electric, and I was ready to quit, and Mr. Houston came to the rescue. And he said, "You want a job?" I said, "Yes." He said, "I'll get you a job at Lincoln Grant School." No lie.
So, Mr. Brock, you were the coach that led the Lincoln Grant Warriors to several state champions, 9th district, and was that the 34th? No, 9th
district.
And the 9th regional. Tell us about those teams that you had over the years.
No, I had quite a few real good ball clubs here at Grant, and we had some success and we had some failure. And the thing is, it was kind of bad for a black team to win a championship in Kentucky. I hate to say that, but it was kind of hard for us to win a championship. They'd find something, with the players traveling in the lane too long or doing something wrong, and it was kind of tough for the kids. But these kids stuck up to it and went on and fought all the way. We won championships and we were beat, and I think we learned a lot from all this. So I think, as I always say, my teaching experience, the best teaching experience I've had in my life, the best has been here at Lincoln Grant School.
Now, you went on to Holmes High School too, didn't you?
I was at Holmes High School for a year. I left Holmes and went to Princeton High School for about 6 years. I left Princeton High School and went to Hughes High School for about 13, 14 years.
And you continue to have a winning basketball team, is that correct?
Yep. We always win more than we lose.
So so they had a lot to do with it. Well, I hope you enjoy yourself today, Mr. Brock.
Well, thank you for inviting me, Miss Patricia. I remember you. You quite a lady.
Well, I tell you, Mr. Brock, you know, sometimes in life, children know when they're loved, and I always feel that I was one of your favorites, so I had to say that.
Yeah, okay.
Okay.
All right.
And we have Mr. Marshall, and Mr. Marshall came, and Mr. Marshall, I forget what grade you taught. Melvin Marshall?
Yes, I had second grade. I came here teaching second grade.
And what year did you?
One.
And how long were you here?
I was here for 15 years. I closed the building up.
Oh, you closed the building?
I closed it down, yes.
Okay, and where did you go after that?
I went first district for about a year. I did 2 years there in the alternative school. Then I went with the state for a year with the truancy program, and approximately 5 years with job prep on 18th Street. And then I did 1 year at Holmes. As a matter of fact, I think I was the only Afro-American assistant varsity basketball coach in the history of Holmes High School.
Oh, I didn't know that. Because, of course, you know, Mr. Brock didn't go get the coach. He couldn't be the coach at Holmes High.
No, he was I think he had a JV.
Right, I'm sure that was a letdown.
But I was Mr. Flynn's assistant.
Well, how did you enjoy your years here at Lincoln Grant?
Lincoln Grant, as put it in the kids' words today, was bliss. It was wonderful. It was when students valued learning, parents had an interest in their children, and you could get some learning. You could really do some teaching.
How important do you think that it was for African Americans to have their own school?
It was very important. There was a lot of pride involved in it. When integration hit, it was good for some, but it was devastating for others.
You think that the reason why some of the things are happening today is because that happened and we no longer had that everyday contact with our African American adults?
In a sense it did, because for one, some of us were not really rooted in where we came from and where we were going. And then to go into a foreign element, that is, into a classroom when you didn't see people of your color, and 9 chances out of 10, you were not treated. Well, you don't know that, so you are considered in special ed. Whereas in the black school, we simply talk to mama, we talk to dad, and we got things taken care of.
Okay, so where do you see us at with all the trouble that's going on in society today with our children? Where do you see teachers from now, going now? Because now some of them have guns, and a lot of these teachers are intimidated by their students.
Well, I think what we have to do is to get the parents involved in what we're doing. A lot of parents are afraid of the kids, and they expect the schools to do everything. I mean, they expect teachers to be gods, but we can't put our hands on the students. I feel that what we have to do is to get the parents, take a whole and take a stake in the education like it used to be. Once the students find that their parents value education, then they too will value education. That's where we lost, because once we overcame, the parents felt that we've overcome and I don't have to push anymore. We finally got our piece of the pie when in reality we didn't.
So we're worse off now than we were when the Civil Rights Bill was passed in the 60s, is that correct?
That's very right, because a lot of us still don't know where we come from or where we're going or how we're going to get there.
Well, this program today will certainly enrich the lives of those who's coming out to be able to see and meet all you school teachers, and I understand you're still teaching.
Still trying. I see that some of our little brothers are still struggling, so as long as I feel that I'm rested enough to give it a wrestle, I'll be out there tussling with them.
Okay. Thanks a lot, Mr. Marshall, and let me go to Mr. Gilliard.
Yes, ma'am.
Well, I'm trying to get just a little bit close. I think my card is kind of... This is Mr. Walter Gilliard, who was the coach who Mr. Brock took his place, and he was my first grade gym teacher. And you are an alumni, and you graduated in what year?
in 1941.
Now, remind me, did I already interview you?
Yes, you did.
Okay, well, let me move on.
Okay.
Okay. All right. Now we have Mrs. Crocker.
Yes.
Ms. Crocker, you are a native from Kentucky,
Yes.
but not a graduate from Lincoln Grant, right?
No, I'm not a graduate from Lincoln Grant, but I did go to Lincoln Grant 1 year in the first grade.
Okay, were you from Campbell County?
No, well, I lived in Covington down on 11th Street. On 11th Street, my father lived there, and I lived in Tennessee too. I had 2 homes in Clifton, Tennessee, and then in Kentucky, in Covington.
Of course, Mrs. Crocker's name is Cecil, and she's named after her father. And back then, it wasn't real popular for us to do so, being that. Miss Crocker, you taught the first grade. How long were you here at Lincoln Grant?
I was at Lincoln Grant for 8.5 years.
And where did you go to when you left?
When I left Lincoln Grant, I went to John G. Carlisle School.
Now, did you go to Cincinnati?
After teaching at John G. Carlisle School 8.5 years, I moved over to Cincinnati.
More money?
Cincinnati.
More money?
Well, yes. I'm retired now.
You retired
yeah,
now?
I retired in 1996, February 1996.
Let me ask you something. How important do you think it is for black students to have black teachers?
I think it's very important because I think that black teachers understand them what the children need and what they're going through. I think it's very important.
I think so too. Well, thank you, Ms. Crocker, and I hope you enjoy the day. And then now we're going to Mrs. Sloan, who was my 7th grade teacher, and also she was a Y team person who also took us on our trip, our first field trip, a long field trip to Frankfort, Kentucky. She took us to Hodgensville, Kentucky. She took us to Harrisburg, Kentucky. She took us to Kentucky State University, and she also opened up her home and let us have a slumber party. And Miss Sloan, no, I wasn't in that class.
You were.
So where else did you go?
We went to Washington, D.C. and went to Mammoth Cave in Kentucky. I tried to give my children an overall view of Kentucky and then to visit the capital of the United States.
Well, you certainly brought something new.
A wider idea of what things were like and how people lived and enjoyed the life that was given to them.
And Miss Sloan, why did you open up your home to us?
Because I felt like, well, you were children, and I love children. So therefore, anything that had to do with children, my home would be your home too.
Well, the other night I had a 10-year-old, an 11-year-old, and 2 12-year-olds to have a slumber party in my house. And it made me think back of how you had opened up your home to us. And Miss Sloan, how long did you teach here?
9 years.
9 years, and you went to Cincinnati too, right?
Yes, when they integrated, I went to Cincinnati.
How did you feel about that integration?
Well, it's all right. I felt it was okay, but I felt that our black children need to have some black teachers in their lifetime because they see the image of what they can do in life, not just what the white people think. But it's an education, but I still like our children to be exposed to black teachers.
Do you think that what's happening with our children today and the reason why we may be out of control is because you all lost control of the education?
Well, we haven't lost control of the education.
No, that's not what I'm...
The major things is that the black teacher hasn't been given the opportunity to do things like they have exposed the white ones to. But I was reared in Paris, Kentucky, and all my teachers were black, and I wouldn't give anything for my education because they exposed us to everything. And
tell them that your sister was a teacher trainer.
My sister was a trainer for the teachers at Kentucky State. And I traveled around with her. So it gave me a real good view and have an overall view of all the things that we need to know and learn about our youth.
Well, thank you. And I tell you, what you did for me in my life is certainly enriched my life. And I, too, hope that one day that I can be able to take the children just a little bit further, too. Thank you, Miss Long. And we have Miss Phillips, Miss Brown, who was my music teacher before. It was another teacher. Did you come after Bill Martin? You came before Bill Martin, correct?
before him, and I think I was after Miss Gooch.
You were after Miss Gooch?
I believe that was the lady preceded me. Okay. And I stayed for about, 2 years. I got pregnant and had to leave.
Okay. But you're not an alumni from here, right?
No, I'm an alumni of schools in Cincinnati.
Oh, so Mr. Houston said you went to Walnut Hills, huh? Where the smart people were, huh?
I don't know. They call it the Nut House. So you can take it from there.
Well, did you continue on in music?
Yes, I continued on. After I left Grant, I had a couple kids, and I started teaching 3rd grade. And then after a year of that, I went back into music over in Cincinnati Public Schools, and that's where I retired in 1987.
Okay, well, you know, in all your packages, you have a copy of the Lincoln Grant alma mater. So, Miss Phillips, we're going to ask you to at least, well, we know the tune. We'll lead you to the tune, but you can direct us. Thanks a lot.
Well, okay, thank you.
And what do you think about how important black teachers are?
I think black teachers are very important as role models for children coming along who want to become teachers. We have so many negative influences in our community, and I think it's a good thing that they have African American teachers as role models in their community. Those persons can really relate to them and can help them, I think, a great deal.
Well, let me ask you, I think I've interviewed, did I get all the teachers? Oh, Miss Cole. Yeah, I already talked to Miss Wright. I talked to Miss Wright. Well, we have Miss Cole here. Cole, how are you doing?
I'm fine.
Miss Cole is an alumni from Lincoln Grant School. What year did you graduate, Miss Cole?
39.
And Miss Cole was a 2nd grade teacher. You graduated in 39?
Yes.
I didn't know that. I didn't know you were that older.
Annie was a year ahead of me in the ride.
Oh, and Annie was ahead of you in 1 year. Yeah. Well, Miss Cole, you taught at Lincoln Grant how many years?
I don't know.
You don't know?
54, yes. 65.
So you integrate?
Years. No kind of substitute. I served 9 years. I taught from the kindergarten through the 12th.
Oh, you did?
In subbing.
Oh, okay. So what do you think about today, Miss Cole? Being honored. We're honoring those who led the way. And you certainly were a trailblazer, and of course one of the favorite teachers at Lincoln Grant.
Thank you. There's so much good you don't know about when you're doing it. But the people always remind you
of that, right? And we have sitting by her, who do we have sitting by here?
Alice.
Murray Alice.
Daughter.
Murray Alice. Yeah, Miss Cole was not only my art teacher, but she was also my neighbor. And Murray Alice. Hey, Murray Alice, do I have on anything today to remind you of anything?
I don't know.
Miss Cole, what about you?
No.
What about the school colors?
Oh, our school colors.
Okay, do you remember what day we used to get this on, Murray Alice?
Flag Day.
May Day.
May Day.
That's right. So I decided today that we had to have
so many they get new gym shoes and outfits until that morning.
Miss Cole said that we had to get new outfits and gym shoes for our special day.
That morning.
For that morning. And also, we also had a musical too. And what do you think those musical festivals did for us in preparing us today?
They were.
Class, line up. Then y'all used to have us lining up. I said, okay, class, line up. So come on, let me lead y'all on up. Right now, we're going to start out with the first class member of 1932, followed by her sisters, who's going to be honored. And these are the ones that led the way. And we hope they enjoy what we have planned for them today. To the field, and we're going to bring your seats up because we don't want you on the high benches. Come on, you're moving slow. We're going to move you up closer to the ceremony. We're getting ready to have the ceremony right now.
We place ourselves in the presence of our Lord and Creator. Lord God, as we gather together again at this time, we thank you for the many blessings of heritage, of weather, of everything that you have done for us and shared with us today and throughout our lives. We ask you to bless these teachers and representatives of the school who have given so much of their lives to our young people. We ask you to bless the young people who are in our midst and who should be in our midst. Touch them with your loving hand and with your loving care. We ask all of this in the name of Jesus, as together we say, Amen.
Okay, and you see all these people here, they just love it, how they were singing and everything. They really love it.